Hey guys, so I want to talk to you today about every mom's nemesis, menu planning. It seems like we haven't even finished feeding them breakfast before they want to know what's for lunch and what's for dinner. And it just gets really overwhelming and frustrating. So I used to use a service that was called eMeals, and I really loved it. It was a great service. It kept us on budget, and it just took so much stress out of my life because everything was planned. I just looked at it. Here's what I'm making for dinner. I had the grocery list. Everything was already bought in advance. It was great. However, I did run into a couple problems for our family. It is a subscription. It was a worthwhile subscription. However, if you wanted to add breakfast or lunch, then the subscription cost would go up. So you were only getting dinner meals with the regular subscription. And then I ran into a problem with ours as far as it couldn't accommodate our dietary needs. So more than 50% of the meals we were getting, we couldn't even make because they didn't meet the dietary restrictions that our family had. So for the last 2 years, I have been trying to find another service that would allow me to maybe use my own recipes or put in what dietary restrictions we had and create the same thing the meals did, and I haven't been able to find anything. So finally, I took ideas from about 3 different sources and did a little computer stuff on my own, and I replicated what eMeals did for us and everything I loved about it, only better. So, and it takes me about an hour a week. I usually try to do that when the kids are napping, but it saves me, I estimate, more than 7 hours a week in just frustration and trying to figure out what I have in the pantry and having to run out at that last minute to grab one more ingredient that I forgot that I needed to cook dinner. And it's just such a time saver in the long run, even though it does take about an hour of concentrated time to get it done. There's a couple steps. I start with our go-to meal ideas, which is just a list we have of all of our favorite meals. And then some of them, like tacos, I just know how to make that. I don't even follow a recipe. But then there's several recipes here that are favorite recipes in my go-to cookbooks. Let me show you I have, this is my latest favorite, 100 Days of Real Food. And then I have Test Kisser and Slow Cooker Revolution. And then every week I make our own bread, so I have the Bread Machine Bible. And then I have a couple others that are just occasional cookbooks. My whole grain baking, I like that if I'm making the kids muffins. There's some wonderful muffin recipes. And of course, since it's the holiday time, I have my cookie companion because we're always making cookies to take to somebody this time of year. But those are my go-to cookbooks. And then to make my go-to meal list, I flipped through my cookbooks and the pages that were just about to fall out because I had cooked those meals so many times. Those were ones that went on the list. And then I put the cookbook name and the page number next to it so I can quickly, when I'm making my meal plan, I can look down and go, oh yeah, we love making this, and here's the information I need to be able to find that recipe quickly. Once I have the go-to meals and my go-to cookbooks, then I use that to fill in the full meal plan template. I'll put a link to all of these in the notes. This is my blank one for this week because I haven't started filling it in. Here is one from last week with all of our meals in it. And basically what this has, I have the day of the week out here. Then I have across the top breakfast, lunch, snacks, dinner, and sides. So everything that I'm going to cook, everything I'm going to feed my kids and husband for the whole week is on this sheet. So I start by filling that out, using my go-to meal ideas, my favorite cookbooks, and anything that I would normally cook for my kids goes on here. Okay. Then once this is filled in, and one other quick budgeting tip, say on here last week, we didn't make the macaroni and cheese on Saturday because we ate lunch out. And we had leftovers, so we didn't make the Parmesan crusted chicken. So I've already bought the ingredients for those 2 meals, so they are automatically going to go into this week because that will save me money off of this week's grocery budget because I already have the ingredients for them, so I won't have to buy them a second time. Once I have everything filled in on my menu plan for the week, Then I have my shopping list template broken down by categories, so it is faster and easier to go through the store and get everything I need. I have produce, dry canned grains, meat and seafood, frozen, and bulk miscellaneous dairy. And then I also have a checklist, so as you're going through and you're like, I don't know if I have enough that spice, you can put it on the list, go check before you go shopping. If you already have it, just cross it off. But that way you can make sure that everything you need for your meals is on here, and you don't start cooking a meal and go, oh, I don't have paprika. That happened to me this week. So just check off if you've already got the item in your pantry, and then take the list, go shopping once, and you're done for the week. Then whatever comes time to feed little kids, you already have this posted on your refrigerator. It already tells you exactly what to feed them. And I look the night before. If there's something I need to take out of the freezer, I can set that out the night before. Another thing that I found is a huge help. I make breakfast bars for the kids, and I make them muffins, and I actually pack my kids' breakfast the night before, because I have early bird kids and we are not early bird people. So it is much easier and less stressful in the morning if I've already made their breakfast the night before, and then I can just put it in front of them and take a few more minutes for myself to wake up without having to deal with, oh my goodness, what do I have that I can feed these kids who are screaming for food before the sun is even up. So hopefully that will help you with some of your menu planning, and you will be able to make your shopping trips more streamlined and keep on budget and have less stress during the week when you are planning your meals and cooking your meals for your family. Okay, so I'm done. Menu plan is done. Everything's filled in: breakfast, lunch, snacks, dinner, and sides. My shopping list is filled in. I have checked with my pantry to make sure that I'm not going to waste money by buying an ingredient I already have on hand. I've also checked my electronic shopping list, where I keep staple items as I run out of them, like milk. Make sure that goes on the list. And one last thing that I like to do on my shopping list is I make a little notation out next to the item of the cheapest place to buy it. I have a lot of those memorized, but if everything is just on my list as I'm going through the store, I might miss something that I should have bought at that store, and then end up having to spend more money buying it at a more expensive location later. So this way I can quickly glance down my list and I see everything I need to get at that store as I cross it off, and saves me money in the long run by always getting things at the best price. Okay, it's time to go shopping.